The Brothers Karamazov, Book 4, Chapter 7. In the previous chapter, we saw Alyosha go to the cottage of the young boy who had bitten his finger. This boy is the son of the captain that Dmitri has beaten up outside of a bar and humiliated by pulling him out, tugging him by his beard in front of his own son and his son's peers in a public square. Alyosha is there trying to make good for that humiliation, trying to redeem his brother with 200 rubles of Katerina's money. Trying to save face, trying to keep some pride in a humiliating situation like this. Alyosha and the man leave the house where son, daughter, wife can hear their conversation, and they take a walk. Taking a walk, the man describes the squalor and the sadness that is their life and his disability, which disallows him to work, and how he wishes he lives in a town with nice people. His son is bullied. His family will be in shambles if he lives or dies, and he doesn't know how to handle all of this difficulty with Dmitri. If he challenges him to a duel, he could be injured and not be able to work for his family, or he could die and he wouldn't be able to work for his family, or he could not challenge Dmitri to a duel and lack courage and honor, be a coward in his son's eyes. So he discusses and describes this situation, and as he's doing this, he talks about his son weeping bitterly, and his son has learned a life lesson that justice is only something for poor people. Rich people get away with things, and poor people don't get away with things. And so this boy just weeps bitterly in his father's arms because his family is humiliated, and the boy has learned a tough life lesson, which is that life isn't fair, and there's really nothing they can do about it. Now, I think this is an important part of the book, because we're going to see in Book 5, Ivan's main argument against the Christian idea of God is the suffering of innocent children, and here we have the suffering of an innocent child weeping bitterly in his dad's arms, and there's no comeback to that. There's no explaining that. There's no Christian on the earth who can say, "Oh, this happened because of this. This is okay because of this." There's no rationalizing. There's no way past the undeniable truth. This boy does not deserve his life, and yet here he is, poor, with a lack of health and all his family members, and now his dad has been publicly humiliated, and there's nothing to do about it. You can throw all the rocks at Alyosha and the other boys you want, but that's never going to fix your life. And so that this is a main theme of Ivan's argument against Christianity. And yet, Dostoevsky's clapback is also here in this chapter. Well, yes, there is nothing that the Christian can say. However, who is there hearing the story of the boy? Who is there trying to make good with the boy's father? Who is there with the practical help and relief financially? It's Alyosha. So again, I think why the book is so fascinating and interesting, that there's no easy, simplistic answers given here. The problems that plague the world are beyond fixing, and they're certainly beyond explaining from a Christian perspective. Yet, what else do you have other than active love, of going to the cottage, of trying to make things better with the father, of trying to figure out the source of the young man's anger? And so that's how Alyosha is thinking. And so finally, he figures out a way to tell the truth, and that is that this whole visit was for one purpose, and that was to give without humiliation, in secret, without spectacle, to give this man reparations for the humiliation that he has suffered at the hands of Dmitri. And so The man is initially excited, and then after some further review, further reflection, his pride cannot take the money, and he spikes the money like someone would spike a football in an end zone after scoring a touchdown. He throws that money down as his sort of last vestige of pride and self-worth and self-respect. And with that, we're done with book 4. And this is a significant turning point. We've only known the main characters here for 2 days now. But we've met all of them. We've met all of them, at least in some detail. The major and the less major, almost minor characters. We've met all of them in some detail, and all of the major issues have been previewed. And so now, in these next 3 books, books 5, 6, and 7, is really, it's the literal center of the novel, but it's also the thematic center of the novel. The novel really finds its fullest expression. Everything hinted at, everything previewed is found to flourish and to flesh out and to blossom really in books 5, 6, and 7. So you've met the main characters and you've seen the main themes, and now the good stuff, the meat.